welcome to this week's Crusader Coaches Show. We're joined by head track and field coach John Spatz. I want to welcome you back and apologize for the technical difficulties we had before Christmas. Hopefully we got those worked out. Track and field team back on the track this past weekend. A couple of school records, a couple of great marks. Talk about how the weekend went.
Yeah, well, coming off a long break and kind of interesting to find out how we were going to do and who worked out and who didn't. Santa's second list, of course, maybe. And so, yeah, I came back, though, with some great school record performance by Peyton Lewis in the heptathlon and 5,075 points. Kind of blew up our old school record. Grayson Kilgore previously held that about 4,600 points, and so Peyton put it up there really well, which is great. So his first official college hep, and I think he's right in the top 10 somewhere right now in Division II in the heptathlon. So great weekend for him, and then also another school record by Cole Holberg in the men's high jump. Cole's really starting to come around, and really looking for him to go in that 6'8", 6'10" range. I think as his technique gets better, he's got a good shot at that indoor, which could maybe get him to the national meet as well. So really good opening weekend overall.
The weekend, I know you look at the results, you aren't impressed necessarily by kids getting 20th or something like that, but then you take into account Boise State, Idaho, Nevada, UC Santa Barbara, BYU, there's 3 or 4 more, Washington State. I mean, there was
Idaho, Utah State.
A ton of Division I's here, and yet you guys did have a slew of top 10 finishes. Chelsea Knott and Kyle McLaughlin and Micah all making the finals in the hurdles. Some great efforts on the throwers' part. Caitlin, Taylor, John Van Buren. You have to be pleased with so many good efforts against some top quality competition.
Yeah, we really were. I mean, the kids that you just mentioned, all scored or placed in the top 10 against really, really good D1 schools. So, I mean, those schools are all right in there. So, I think, it felt like we kind of maybe didn't do that well perspective-wise. You're like, wow, those, we're down here in these places, but I think as we think about the GNAC championships eventually, that we'll get more to our size, and then those marks will look even better, I think, and hopefully we'll have better marks by the time we get there. But yeah, great weekend overall against just tough, great indoor competition. One of the best meets in the Northwest this weekend. So yeah, very proud of the kids and how they performed, and we tried to let them know that we weren't disappointed or they shouldn't be discouraged. They really needed to keep it in perspective on what it means. First meet after a break, and then you run right into some of the best schools in the West. So yeah, it was interesting both ways.
I think one of the things that I noticed looking at the results, I wasn't expecting to see the quality performances from the sprinters on both sides, just because of where they placed. But some of those times, Amy Rhodes, I think in the 200 or 400, I'm not sure, remember.
Yeah.
But she was like in the top 2 or 3 in the conference. Rima was 17th in the 60, and yet that was up in the top 2 or 3 in the conference. So really good efforts, even though compared to the D1 schools, you weren't overwhelmed by them.
Yeah, I think any other year, if we looked back and looked at those marks, just standalone for our first meet back after break, we would have been, wow, yeah, we're doing okay. We're in a good spot after break, and those marks are hopefully going to continue to drop. So, but yeah, there were some good performances that were definitely not overlooked by the coaches, and you reminded the athletes, hey, yeah, we got 3 weeks and then a month before the conference meet, and we'll hopefully rest and do all the things right we need to do, but also sharpen a little bit and get ready. So good shape for now.
Talk about the next month. We do have a month until the championships. How hard will you push the kids? Where do you want to see improvement to make the team stronger by the time February 20th rolls around?
Well, I think the big thing for us is going to be to let those kids know that, hey, we need to do a couple more events each weekend to get more experience, and also kind of find out where we're going to place our chips when it comes time for the conference meet. We have 25 entries on the men's side, 25 entries on the women's side that the coaches kind of choose, who goes into the conference indoor meet. That way So what we've got to see is some kids kind of want to punch their ticket to get into that meet by running some faster times and also maybe running another event or two between now and then in preparation for, what are going to be their best events at the conference meet. So, yeah, it's a little tricky formula to figure all that out, and the coaches, we have a job to do, and I think the athletes are starting to understand, that, hey, we have a good chance to do well this year, and, but we're going to need everybody to be all on board going full force the whole time.
One thing that people might notice, and I'm guessing that other coaches around the GNAC have probably noticed, no Vesey in any of the results yet. Is that because I know she was bridesmaid at a wedding back in December. Will she be competing this winter?
Yeah, she's a bridesmaid at Remar and Jasmine's wedding, so those three amigos have been great kids for us for the last few years, and she's a multiple-time conference champ in the shot, and just working out some things with class and getting all that. And she just wasn't ready to go this weekend, and hopefully we'll get everything squared away and she'll be back, vying for a conference title by the time it counts. I think she'll be there, so we'll see.
So bad news for the other coaches who were hoping that she wouldn't be competing this year.
Yeah, well, looking at some of the other schools, St. Martin's and Central Washington, I don't know if it's accurate, but there's a St. Martin's girl that went 43 feet in the triple jump, if I'm not reading that wrong, which is, that's a good guys mark in our conference most of the time. So I'm not going to feel too sorry for those other conference coaches there. They've got a lot of talent, and it looks like it's shaping up to be one of the best indoor seasons in the GNAC, maybe the history. So a lot of national marks so far, and the first 7-foot high jump on the guys' side this weekend occurred in the meet. So talent-wise, the GNAC is awesome.
Well, I appreciate you joining us, Coach. Good luck this weekend and the rest of the season.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Glad to be here.
Crusader basketball team was in high-flying form against Simon Fraser Thursday night, scoring the 107-103 win as 7 different players scored in double digits, led by Kevin Rima, who had 18 points and 12 rebounds for his 13th career double-double at NNU. Also in action this weekend at home was the Crusader track and field team at the Ed Jacoby Invitational. Several Crusaders had top marks, including Peyton Lewis, who set a school record and hit a national provisional qualifying mark in the heptathlon, scoring 5,075 points. Also turning in top performances were Chelsea Knott and Kyle McLaughlin, who each advanced to the finals of the 60-meter hurdles, finishing 5th each in the NCAA Division I dominated field. Back in action Saturday night were the Crusader men, who took on Western Washington, picking up the win 80-73 over the perennial powerhouse. Kevin Rima led the way for the Crusaders, scoring a season-high 29 points in the victory.
Welcome back. We're joined by Kevin Rima, senior on the men's basketball team and the GNAC Player of the Week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Talk about how things are going. It's got to be fun. You guys won 5 of the last 6 and on a nice little roll.
Yeah, I mean, we're really starting to gel together. We're the best team in the GNAC, like I said, like the other night after the game. I was telling them, like, we are the best team in the GNAC, like, talent-wise. We're just learning to play together. And now that we're starting to play together, like, we're starting to reap the benefits, and like, people are starting to notice us. So.
Now, I said way back in October, when this team starts to gel, watch out, teams aren't going to want to play you.
Right.
And, of course, I was right, which hardly ever happens. But what was it like when you guys, I mean, you were 1-7, there had to be a lot of doubters. Were there doubters in the locker room? Did you guys worry about whether this team would ever get there?
I don't think we ever doubted. I think we were just waiting for the time. Like we were telling ourselves, like when are things gonna start clicking? And so like it's really nice now because we had been practicing for so long, and then we were practicing, and then we were playing games and we weren't winning, and so it was really tough. But now like things are starting to click, so it's starting to become easier. And like coach has always been telling us, like we gotta embrace the grind, and like the hard work is gonna pay off, and it's starting to pay off. So it's always nice to see those benefits.
Western Washington, 27, 34 last year, 29 Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about that team? I mean, that's a team that usually has really strong post players.
Mm-hmm. It's just like the way they guard, like the on balls. They're pretty bad at when they switch. They switch a guard onto me, and if you get into that pick and roll and you push it ahead, it's really easy just for me to get layups, and that's how it's been the past 3 years. So.
How nice was that? I know you guys haven't beaten Western in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
How nice was it to get that win? Because they're a powerhouse.
Yeah, it was really nice. I mean, because the last time we'd beaten them was my freshman year when I played like 2 minutes a game, and that was with Hills as the head coach. And so, I mean, it's been a while, but I mean, I remember those games, and we had all come back in those 3 games, and we were the only team to beat them at home. So it's pretty big. Like 5 years ago, it's my freshman year. Now it's my senior year, so it's pretty cool.
This weekend, going up to Alaska, starting in Fairbanks,
Mm-hmm.
hometown. How will that be? Your family is kind of down here with your mom and dad, and your sister went
they're always flying
to
down.
school down here. So, how is that going to be going home?
I think it'll be entertaining like it always is. I mean, there was always a ton of people come out and support, so that's always nice. I mean, I'd never liked the weather, but
I agree. Did you ever think about UAF? Were you ever a potential NANIC?
they offered me, but I just really wanted to get out of Fairbanks, and like NNU, it was one of my higher up choices, especially because my sister was going to BSU, and so I wanted to be close to her. But yeah, I just really wanted to get out of Alaska in general.
And then Anchorage, they're tied with you guys in the standings. How big is this weekend to really put your stamp on what you guys have done?
Well, both Fairbanks and Anchorage are both very beatable teams, and so if we execute what we need to do, and if we come out and guard at the beginning of both games, then we should be fine both games.
How much fun is it senior season for you to be having this kind of year and having the success that I know you must have wanted up until this point?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we've been like struggling with injuries in the past, and so it's really nice with everybody to be healthy, and we have good players and they're healthy, and I mean, we're starting to click now, so it's really fun to see like wins starting to come in and like keep it rolling.
I appreciate it, Kevin. Congratulations on a great weekend. Good luck this coming week and the rest of the season. Thank you.